Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. So welcome to all of you to our regular
Hare Krishna.
Bhakti Sastri discussion.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Madhuvistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamahyam Dadati Swabharantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapara Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shubhagana Raghunatam Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuga Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam panglungan hayate girim yat kripatamukam bande Shri Gurandinataranam Paramataram Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Hare Krishna. So, we are continuing the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. Okay. So, in the previous discussion, we were discussing in the beginning of the chapter about the qualification and disqualification to hear about Krishna. Yeah. So, where in that section of the discussion, Lord Krishna explained to Arjuna that for those who are faithless, yeah, Ashradha Dana Purusha Dharma Shasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivatante Mrityu Samsara. Those who are without faith, yeah, so they already being disqualified. Yeah, they don't have the qualification to hear about Krishna. So main thing is that we have to put on faith while hearing Krishna Katha. Faith means that we accept what is the statement in the scriptures. Yeah, the bona fide scriptures. Yeah, and then we discuss also about Krishna's inconceivable relationship with the material world. Yeah, it is very difficult to understand Krishna's relationship with the material world because there is description stating that Krishna is always in Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah, Goloka Evani Vashatya Kilat Bhuta. He never comes out from Goloka Vrindavan. Yet at the same time, through his energy, yeah, he creates, he maintains, and annihilate the material world. So that means he involved personally. Yeah, he involved personally. He enters into each creation, but yet at the same time, he is always aloof, being unattached. Okay. So now we will continue our discussion from text number 11. Yeah. Good. Oh, this is already okay. 1 minute. So here we go. Okay. Oh, why we come back to this page again? Yeah, this is the one. Non-worshippers and worshippers. Yeah, from text 11 to 19. Krishna compares the pure devotees to the impersonalists, demigod worshippers, and those who worship the universal form. He also describes how to meditate upon him as Vishwarupa. So here, one of the famous verses from the Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti Mamudha, Manusim Tanumasritam, Param Bhava Majananto Mama Bhuta Mapeshwar. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. Okay, Manusim Tanu Asritam. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Srila Prabhupada explained from the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The personality of Godhead who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the complete cosmic manifestation cannot be a human being. Yet, there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely powerful man and nothing more. The foolish consider Krishna an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, that he is the proprietor of everything that be, and that he can award liberation to anyone. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualifications, they deride him. Okay. Manusim Tanumasritam. This is the key word here. Yeah. Krishna descend in the human form. It doesn't mean that Krishna is human. Yeah. Same thing like Krishna descend as Lord Varaha. But he is completely distinct from any boar, wild boar in this world. Yeah. So Krishna descends, or tomorrow we will celebrate Sri Ram Navami. Yeah. Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, he enacted his pastime just in one place. Of course, it is like ordinary human being. Yeah, when Mother Sita asked Lord Ramachandra to capture the golden deer, who is actually Maricha, sent by Ravana. So Lord Ramachandra said, okay, he tried to fulfill Sita Devi's desire. And Srila Prabhupada explained in the 9th canto in chapter 10, in that pastime, stating that here Lord Ramachandra is acting just like a henpecked husband, a husband who is completely attached to his wife. Yeah. But of course, seeing another pastimes of the Lord, like superhuman activities. So that's actually should convince us that when Krishna left the Govardhan Hill, for example, nobody can lift the Govardhan Hill, right? Other than Krishna. Yeah. There was one, the grandson, the grandson of Sai Baba, the big hair Sai Baba, the recent Sai Baba. So he challenged actually the devotee of Sai Baba, because he disagreed that this Sai Baba is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why he has so many worshippers? Yeah. So this boy, he's actually Krishna devotee. Yeah. So he challenged the devotee of Sai Baba. Okay, if he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why he doesn't prove himself to lift Govardhan Hill? Yeah. If he cannot show his Virat Rupa, then he should at least lift the Govardhan Hill. So things like this, of course, like in some place, like in my country, in Indonesia, like people knows the pastimes of Mahabharata, right? The history of Mahabharata. But they just consider this Leela, this story, this pastime is just like story for the child before sleeping. it's kind of unreal for them. It's just normal story, but it's actually a fact. Yeah, it is the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Therefore, we have to understand the Srishti Tattva. What is Srishti Tattva? Anybody would like to guess? What is Srishti Tattva? Srishti Tattva is the pastime of the Lord related to the creation. That is Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. Yeah. Srishti means creation, Sthiti means maintenance, and Pralaya means annihilation. So therefore we have to study the Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto, goes up to the 9th canto. Not directly jumping to the 10th canto, as Srila Prabhupada many times explained to all of us in order to understand the Srishti Tattva. If you know the creation, at least some gist of the creation, then you will understand that Krishna is the root of the creation. Then you will convince that this boy is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It doesn't matter whatever he does. Yeah, whatever he does, after all, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. Okay. So Awa Jananti means the fools, those who don't know. Yeah. Mudha means fools. They will deride Krishna as ordinary human being. Okay, text 12. Moga sa moga karmano moga jnana vichetasaha raksasim asurim chayo prakritim mohinim sritama. Those who are thus bewildered are attached by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Raksasim Asurim. Yeah. Moga. How many times Krishna mentioned the word Moga? 3 times. Mogasa, Moga, Karmano, Moga Jnana. That means they are bewildered. Yeah. There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tasted. Those who are engaged in pretty pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demoniac or atheistic. It is interesting here, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, yeah, those who are assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness, yeah, but at heart, they don't accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What does it mean? You know, like there are so many people, especially in India, sorry to say, yeah, like they are saying, oh, yes, we know Krishna, yeah, Krishna is the Bhagavan, but they don't accept Krishna at heart. What does it mean? They don't engage in devotional service. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the fruit of devotional service, going back home, back to Godhead, can never be tasted for them. Yeah, almost all the Hindus here in India, they accept Krishna, right, as God, but they don't engage in the devotional service. Yeah. So one time when I was in Cambodia in 2015, yeah, my wife and I, we were distributing books. We were doing Harinam on the street in the town. And we met one gentleman. He's from Delhi, actually. Yeah, he's from Delhi. And then we try to, offer him book, try to sell him book. And he said that, oh, yes, I know Krishna. No, I visited ISKCON temple many times. Yeah, many times. But what happened? He's is not engaged in devotional service. So he visited his temple many times, but he still doesn't have that conviction to be engaged in devotional service of God. Yeah. In fact, he was holding. Here is the thing about Cambodia. If one day you can visit, please visit Cambodia, or you can just search in Google. Probably it's available. Cambodian food. Yeah. So in the marketplace, they will sell all different types of fried insects, scorpion, and snakes. So he was holding one of these big black fried scorpions. Yeah. And he showed me his sacred thread, actually. He even mentioned that I was born in Brahmana family. My wife just laughed. So here's the thing, you cannot say yourself devotees unless you completely engage in devotional service. Otherwise, you just devotee in the name only. Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned here the fruit of devotional service, which is going back home, back to Godhead, can never be tasted. So if we think a moment, yeah, what is the goal? Why are we engaging ourselves in devotional service? Of course, to please Krishna. That's the only thing. To please Krishna, develop bhakti. Why we are doing bhakti? In order to get more bhakti. Yeah, but this going back home, back to Godhead is kind of bonus. Yeah, once you have bhakti, then it's guaranteed. Yeah, it's bonus. So you don't have to have a separate endeavor to go back home, back to Godhead. It will be automatically rewarded by Krishna. Yeah. So mogasa, moga karma, moga jnana. Those who are possessing this asuric nature, yeah, they are bewildered in their activities and their knowledge. Okay. Another important verse, text number 13. Bhatmanastumam partha daivim prakritim asritaha bhajantyananyamanaso gyatva buddhadim avyaya. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls. Okay, so text 11 and 12 explaining about the non-devotees. Yeah. So from this text, Krishna is explaining about the great soul, the devotees. Yeah. Are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. The first sign of Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. Okay. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of great soul, Mahatma. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas or pure devotees. Okay, so Mahatmanas Tamam Pata. Mahatma means great soul. Mahatma. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada explained the first sign of Mahatma is he is always under the protection of the Daivi Prakriti. In the 7th chapter, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned. What is that sloka in the 7th chapter? Anybody remember? Which verse Srila Prabhupada hinting here? Daivi yesa guna mayi mama maya duradhyaya mam evaye prapadyante maya metam taranti. Yeah. Mam evaye prapadyante. Those who are surrendered to Krishna. That means completely under his divine protection. Yes. Of course, sometimes we see there are so many pastimes that great devotees get into illusion, right? But their illusion is under the order of Yogamaya, under the arrangement of Yogamaya, the divine energy of the Lord, divine potency of the Lord. Arjuna seems to be bewildered here in this Bhagavad Gita. But that bewilderment is different from our bewilderment. His bewilderment is by the arrangement of Yogamaya in order to ask all these questions for our benefit. Brahma, sometimes he get bewildered also. Yeah. But this bewilderment is the arrangement of Yogamaya in order to establish Krishna's supremacy. Why he kidnapped these boys and the calves, yeah, in order to establish Krishna's supremacy. Lord Shiva, also sometimes he bewildered. Yeah. But the only purpose is to establish Krishna's supremacy. And as soon as, okay, they becomes bewildered and then they get the lesson and then they will go back to their position as great devotees. They don't fall. Yeah. Our bewilderment is that making us going down and down. Yeah. But these great devotees, they seems to be bewildered just for a moment. They get corrected and they become established again in their position as being great devotees. Let's say Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu, the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. And then Lord Shiva heard the narration of the pastime of Mohini Murti when she appeared, yeah, and distributing this nectar, yeah, to the demigods and cheated the demons. And then Lord Shiva was requesting Lord Vishnu, oh my dear Lord, please show me this form. I'm just curious. Lord Vishnu said, no. You don't have to see this form. Lord Shiva just a moment, he said. He insisted, just a moment. And Lord Vishnu said, all right, if you so desire, then so be it. This is in the 9th canto, Bhagavatam. Suddenly, Lord Vishnu disappeared. Very beautiful woman near the bushes under a tree playing ball. Yeah. And Lord Shiva's attention turned into this girl. Parvati was sitting on his lap. He ignored his own wife and ran after this lady. Yeah. And what happened? It is described in the 9th canto. Lord Shiva, even he discharged semen, being so much, like enchanted and lusty toward this woman. And then after that, this woman just disappeared and became Lord Vishnu, appeared in the front of him. And Lord Shiva became embarrassed. So, but of course, this semen was picked up and put inside the pot and appear great personalities. Okay, so whatever happened to great personalities, there is no loss. But the lesson here is that even Lord Shiva, the one who is like fixed in devotional service, can be sometimes bewildered by the opposite sexual attraction. Yeah. So that's the lesson. But this is all the arrangement of the Yogamaya. And he established himself again as a great devotee of the Lord. Yeah. And of course, who can agitate Lord Shiva's mind other than Krishna? Yeah. That's Srila Prabhupada explained like that in the 9th canto. So that's the thing. Yeah, Mahatma is a person who is always protected by divine potency of the Lord. Yeah, so the Mahatma can never fall down. Although sometimes it looks like he bewildered, but it's not for long. Yeah. So fall down means when you just leave completely Krishna consciousness. Okay, Bhupalaka Govinda Prabhu, you raised your hand earlier. Whether
Hare
any
Krishna Prabhuji.
question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The 12th was towards the end. It was stating that If you don't,
Hare Krishna.
which is, one second, Rohit, I'll just get to that. It's the 12th was the last thing it was saying. Yeah, I got it. One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven.
Prabhu, I cannot hear your voice.
Hare Krishna.
Other devotees can hear Prabhu's voice.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Can you hear me, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
I cannot hear your voice.
Hare Bol.
Probably something wrong with your
Device.
microphone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we can hear.
For 1 minute.
We can hear, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Try to speak again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanal Prana.
Okay.
You can hear, Prabhuji.
Yeah, now I can hear. So
Towards the
something
end
with
of the
my-
12th verse 9.12,
Hmm.
if one considers the body of Krishna to be material, should be driven out of all rituals and activities of Shruti and Smriti.
Hmm.
And if one given a chance sees the face, should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. So what is given here is that by chance, if we consider if our mind travels so, and we consider that Krishna is material, then by taking bath in the Ganges, we can wipe out that. Is that the understanding?
I didn't get your point.
Okay.
1 minute. I will open also my Bhagavad Gita. Wording and
Last.
text.
Yeah, text number 12, Prabhuji, last one.
Hmm.
After that sloka is there, no? Yo veti bhautikam.
Yeah.
The next
One
line.
who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demoniac life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Your question is?
Suppose Manasika or something, we think like that also. We have to go take bath in the Ganges. Is that the thing, understanding?
If our mind.
If our mind thinks like that.
No, what Srila Prabhupada, what this verse from the Brihad Krishna Smriti states that if you see someone who against Krishna, you have to take bath immediately in Ganges, because that people will contaminate you. The atheistic people will contaminate you. Yeah, so you have to take bath in Ganges in order to purify yourself. Yeah. What happens if your mind is thinking like that? Krishna is ordinary human being. Then correct your mind. But what this sloka is explaining here is that if you see someone who is against Krishna, his side is contaminating to us. So we have to take bath in Ganga in order to purify our existence. Even Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if you see a Mayawadi, immediately you have to turn your face, or otherwise you have to just jump into the Ganges. Yeah. There is also another strong statement by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you see someone without tilak, yeah, someone without tilak, you have to immediately jump to Ganga. Yeah, so the point of this.
We are in South India, Prabhuji, we can't go to Ganga.
Yeah, chant the holy name. Yes, chant the holy names. The main idea here is that if you touches or see some uncontaminated person, that also will contaminate your existence. Yeah, if you walk into the market where there are some butcher, you better not look into it. Or you see some somebody is doing gambling, for example. Because I have seen this in some local trains, people just doing gambling. Yeah, so many people. Yeah, so you better turn your side. Or another alternative you can do is look into the sun just for a second. Open your eyes, look into the sun. The sun will purify you. Yeah. So that's the idea of this statement. Yeah. But what happened if your mind thinking something mundane about Krishna? Of course, it's always good to take bath in Ganga, but try to withdraw your mind back to the better track. Yeah. So like that.
Thank
Okay.
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right. So come back to this topic. This is about Mahatma. Yeah. And then text number 14. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavratah namasyantascha bhaktya nitya yukta upasati. So the Mahatma in text number 13 describe that he is always in the under the divine protection of the Lord. Yeah. And what are his activities described in this verse? Yeah. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, going down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So these are the activities of the Mahatmas. Yeah, the Mahatmas cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. The Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadasi, and on the appearance day of the Lord. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. He can live this life in devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder, or a sannyasi, or a brahmachari. In any position and anywhere in the world, he can perform his devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul. Okay? A Mahatma is not someone who is getting the certificate, written his name there, he is a Mahatma. Yeah. So it's not like that. Yeah. A Mahatma is a person who is always performing these four activities. Yeah. Always chanting Krishna's name, Satatam Kirtayantomam, Yatantasya Vrata, with so much determination, performing devotional service. Sometimes Krishna, of course, he loves to see our endeavor. Yeah, how much effort we put while performing devotional service. Sometimes Krishna doesn't really see the result, but he sees our effort. That's most important actually, because we are putting our effort, our love, our power in the process of performing devotional service. Offering obeisances and becoming his devotees, worshipping Krishna. Yeah. So these are the activities of the Mahatma. So in this way, actually, he can never be touched by Maya. Yeah, he can never be touched by Maya. So regarding Srila Prabhupada talks here about worshipping Krishna. Yeah, the Mahatma. Prabhupada gave the hint here. Definitely, he is not an impersonalist. How you can glorify someone who is without form? Okay, if I ask you to glorify me, for example, then you start mentioning, oh, you Prabhu, you are looking like this. Your qualities, blah, 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 and so on. Yeah, or I ask you to glorify lotus flower, for example. Yeah, how you glorify lotus flower? So it has such and such form, such color, beautiful, things like this. Because if you are impersonalist, you cannot really glorify Krishna, glorify God. Yeah. What will you glorify? Can you glorify nothing? You cannot, right? Let's say, for example, the Muslim prays that Allahu Akbar. What does it mean? God is great. Then how do they know God is great? If God has no form, how can he be great? Right? Great means there is something that he has done to make him great, right? Otherwise, not possible to glorify someone who doesn't have form. Yeah. God knows everything. God sees you. Yeah. How God sees you? Through his eyes. Otherwise, why would people afraid? Yeah. Okay. Let's say for those who are having some sense of religion, why would people afraid to commit sinful activities? Because we have the understanding that God is watching us. Then how God watching us? Through his eyes, right? That means he has face, he has head, he has body. Yeah, he has transcendental form. When the Upanishad mention Arupam, it doesn't mean without form, but this Arupam means without material form. Okay. That's about Srila Prabhupada's statement here. He is not an impersonalist. Yeah. Otherwise, why would Srila Prabhupada put this statement? Because it's important to understand, yeah, that God has form. Otherwise, how we will chant his glories if he doesn't have form, right? Okay. Text 15. Others who engage in sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. This verse is the summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. Yet, there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Okay. What does it mean, worshiping Krishna in different ways? Those who are worshipping the Virat Rupa form of the Lord, also worshipper of Krishna. Yeah. But they are worshipping the material form of the Lord. Yeah. So Virat Rupa is actually a material form of the Lord, meant only for creation. Yeah. So there is no Virat Rupa in the spiritual world. Yeah. It is exhibited only in the material world. This Virat Rupa is the different forms of demigods who is in charge of the material world maintenance, yeah, and creation. So the demigod worshippers, can we consider them to be Mahatma? No. Yeah. As Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, that there are some devotees, some people who wants to be devotee of the Lord, but they worship the Lord in a different way. Yeah. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Okay? Avidipurvaka. Avidipurvaka means misplaced surrender. Yeah, they have sense that yes, there is God, but they don't know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Rather, they worship the demigods, and they are considered the demigods to be the supreme personality of Godhead. Yeah, but these demigods are different parts of the different bodies of the Virat Rupa. They in charge of different things. Yeah, they in charge of light, moon, Surya, the sun, rain, things like this, the air, and so on. So they are not in the position of Mahatma. Only Krishna's devotees can be considered to be Mahatma. Yeah. But still, we consider them as pious living entities because they want to surrender to some higher authority. It's simply they don't know. Therefore, Krishna explained Avidi Purvakam, misplaced surrender. Yeah. Srivasan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I had a question, doubt.
Mm.
So, while invoking the Vedic hymns or any mantras, in the beginning they usually invoke Lord Ganesh, right? So, in some Vaishnavas also do, some Vaishnavas will not.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wanted to understand if that comes under demigod worship or how we understand that.
Mm. Yes. That's very interesting. Yeah. Because even Srila Rupa Goswami explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that before worshipping the Lord, we have to worship Ganesh. Yeah, we worship Ganesh because Ganesh is the person who removes all the obstacles on the path of devotional service. Yeah. But our worshipping Ganesh and demigod worship, the demigod worshippers are different. Our mood is to ask his blessings in order to remove all the obstacles. Yeah. And actually, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Padhyati, in performing worship, puja, or yagya, so we are not actually invoking Ganesh into the Kalasa. Instead, we are worshipping Lord Vishwaksena. Yeah, Lord Vishwaksena is the chief commander of Lord Vishnu in Vaikunta. So Ganesh and Kartikeya, they are the expansion of Lord Vishwaksena. Therefore, Ganesh is the chief commander of Lord Indra's army in heaven. So in our Sampradaya, I don't know what the Sri Sampradaya practice is, but in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we are following the teaching of Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami. He's also from South, right? So we are following his teaching. So instead of worshipping Ganesh, we are worshipping Lord Vishwaksena. Yeah. And devotees also, we also invite Lord Varuna into the Kalasha. But this Varuna is not the demigod Varuna. So there is Varuna there from Vaikunta. Yeah. And the Agnis that we invoke is not the demigod Agni. These are the expansion of Lord Vishnu in Vaikunta. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami explained there are 56 different forms of Agnis in Vaikunta. These are the expansion of Lord Vishnu. So for different samskaras, different ceremonies, we invite different Agnis. So when we perform the yagya, so our meditation is the four-handed form of Lord Vishnu. So regarding Ganesh worship, for Vaishnavas, there is nothing wrong to worship the demigods, but the mood is different from those who are karma kandis. Yeah, we are worshiping Ganesh, asking him to remove the obstacles in devotional service. Yeah, in Sivaratri, we are celebrating Sivaratri. Yeah, why not? We are worshiping Lord Shiva as Guru, as great devotee. We perform Vastu Puja during the Bhumi Puja and Griha Pravesa. Here's the thing. In Sri Sampradaya, if you perform Vastu Puja, so they will make Vastu Purusha using a kusa grass. After the yagya is finished, so the priest who dress in black color, normally this is their practice. You can observe it. So they will drag this kusa, this Vastu Purusha, they will burn him and beat him, drag him out of the house. The understanding is that because this Vastu is a Rakshasa, so when he is being dragged and beaten up, being burned, all the other ghosts will see that, oh, they're leaders. is being beaten up, so they will not come into the property, into the house of that particular person and will not disturb them. But in our practice, in Gaudiya, in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya practice, that we worship Vastu as a great devotee, because he is great devotee of Lord Ananta Sesha, Lord Balaram. So we invite Vastu to reside in our place, in our house, in our land, and we worship him as a great devotee. So while performing the Vastu Puja, we offer the Naivedya, the Bhoga to Lord Ananta, and then we offer the Prasadam to Vastu, and then separate plate we put outside of the house, outside of the land. That's for the Buddhas. So they will eat peacefully outside. So we worship Vastu as great devotee. So the mood is different from the karma kandis. Yeah. So worshiping Ganesh, that's fine. Even Rupa Goswami also recommends this. But generally in our practice, we invite Lord Vishwaksena and worship him because he's the original of Ganesh. He's the origin of Ganesh and Kartikeya. Yes.
Thank you for that explanation, Prabhu. Prabhu, I had one more question also. So the devotees also perform Sudarshana Homa, Dhanvantari Homa.
Yeah.
So is this considered a part of Karma Kanda activities or it is not?
I do this. I do Sudarshan Homa. I do Dhanvantari Homa. Dhanvantari is the incarnation of the Lord. Yeah. Sudarshan is also the expansion of the Lord in the form of his weapon. Yeah. So when devotees face some difficulty, some problem, they get very, very sick, then you do Dhanvantari Homa. Yeah. Asking the Lord for health. Yes. Sudarshan Homa, when you do this Homa, you meditate on Lord Krishna. Yeah, this mantra, Srim Prem Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya. This mantra is full of Krishna's name. And we have to understand what is Karma Kanda and what is, what do you call this? Karma Mishra Bhakti. Yeah, what is Karma Mishra Bhakti and what is Karma Kanda? So Karma Kanda is totally demigod worship. There is nothing to do with Krishna. This is called Karma Kanda. But Karma Mishra Bhakti, you perform devotional service in order to ask some boon from the Lord. It might be material also. Yeah, it might be material also. It comes under Sakama Bhakta. Those kind of devotees come under Sakama Bhakta. Yeah, but what Sukadev Goswami explained, Akama Sarva Kamo Moksakama Udara Dihi Tibrina Bhakti Yogena Yajetam Purusham Param. Whether you have no desire, akama, or sarvakama, you have a lot of material desire, or moksha kama, you are desiring for liberation. Tibrena bhakti yogena, just perform devotional service with great determination. Ask Krishna for what you want. The best example is given for Sakama Bhakta is Dhruva Maharaj. Is that fine? It is not completely fine, but it is much better than Karma Kanda. Okay, Karma Kanda is just demigod worship. But this kind of Homa that we are worshipping Krishna, we are worshipping Dhanvantari, the incarnation of the Lord. We are worshipping Sudarshan, the expansion of the Lord in the form of these weapons. Yeah, asking for help, for example. Why we want help? Because we want to engage in devotional service. If you are sick, how you will be engaged in devotional service? Yeah. I experienced one time I got toothache. Somehow or other, I could chant only 2 rounds on that day. Can you imagine? And I have to chant the next day a lot of rounds. Just small problem. Somehow my cheek got swollen because of little problem. So here's the thing. When you pray to Krishna, you ask for something, it should be related to devotional service. Why you worship Dhanvantari, you want health, because you want to do your service better. Yeah, things like this. So that's under the category of Sakama Bhakta, but it is not Karma Kanda. And Srila Prabhupada commented, just like the example of Dhruva Maharaj, by constantly performing Prabhupada said, materially motivated devotional service, once will be gradually purified, and one day he will become a pure devotee. And he will regret asking Lord for material boon. So it's completely different. Karma Kanda is different, and Karma Mishra Bhakti is different. Yeah. So it comes also under the category of Karma Yoga. Yeah. You are asking something from Krishna. You are worshipping Krishna. You're not worshipping the demigods. Okay. So Karma Kanda just demigod worship. That's it. But when the devotee is performing yajna, so you chant, let's say Purusha Sukta prayers, then you chant the Vijay mantra, Idam Krishnaya, Idam Namama. Then you are offering the ahuti to Krishna. We don't offer to the demigods. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. It's nice question because many devotees think that when there is this fire yajna, immediately they are thinking, oh, this is Karma Kanda. But we have to know to whom we offer the ahuti. That's it. If you offer the ahuti to the demigods, then it is Karma Kanda. Yeah. Simple. Karma Kanda is just demigod worship. That's the understanding. Okay. Text number 16. But it is I who am the ritual. I, the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herbs, the transcendental chant. I'm the butter and the fire and the offering. He just asked this question. Yeah, this is pertaining the yajna, the sacrifice. Those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas. Yeah, because ultimately, the purpose of performing yajna is to please Krishna. Yajna karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Tadartha karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So, yajna is meant only to satisfy Krishna. Yeah, no one else. So if one performs devotional service, yeah, this is yajna, sacrifice. Yeah, Sankirtan especially. If you go out for Sankirtan, then that's yajna. One time my Sankirtan leader asked me, you know what, in this community we have, in Mayapur, we have over 7,000 devotees in Mayapur. But how many of them perform Sankirtan yajna? There are few. Why? Because it's sacrifice. You need to sacrifice your time, energy. Yeah. So it's yajna, sacrifice. The idea of yajna is that you sacrifice something in order to please Krishna. Yeah. Anuradha, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, all these yajnas now that the offerings they say is not pure. So Sankirtan movement is what we have to focus on, right? So all these fire sacrifices, when we say that, in Kali Yuga it is not pure, why do we still follow it?
Okay. Why are we still worshipping the deities? Why we are building TOBP? It's not the Yuga.
I'm talking about all the.
I know. I'm asking you this. Deity worship is not the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga. Yeah. So why we still follow this? Same thing also about fire sacrifice. Why the body is still doing this? Yeah. Why the body is still doing this? Of course, we have to focus on Sankirtan Yajna. But again, how many people will go out for Sankirtan? Yeah. Therefore, we have to find some other engagement which suit some gunas of different devotees. Yeah. So as you mentioned that yes, the offering is not pure. Yeah, all these fruits sold out. Actually, we have to grow our own fruit. We have to grow our own food. Then you can cook it. Prabhupada explained, prasada means you grow first the vegetables, the rice by yourself with love and devotion. You harvest it with love and devotion. You cook with love and devotion, and you offer to Krishna with love and devotion. That is the real prasada. So now we are buying from market. What people putting all these kind of chemicals, right? So that in itself is already impure. What to do? Yeah. So same thing also about fire sacrifice. The offering is impure. Let's say like that, the ghee, unless you churn your own butter, then you get pure ghee. Yeah. So all this commercial ghee probably from the ahimsa milk or not, we're not sure, right? Most of them just himsa milk. How the process of the milking of the cows using the machine, that sometimes the blood also gets sucked. Yeah, if you use hand, then you know what is there, right? But using this machine, sometimes the blood also gets sucked. Then from that kind of milk, they make the ghee, then it is impure, right? Therefore, Sukracharya explained, mantratas tantratas chidram desakalas vastutaha sarvam karoti nischidram anusankirtanam tava. You are rightly mentioning that there are so many defects while performing the sacrifice, this yagya. Yeah, mantratas, while chanting the mantra, if the brahmana chants with the wrong chanda, we call it chanda. Yeah, there is certain mantra that where you're supposed to go up, where you're supposed to go long, where you're supposed to go down and short. This is called chanda. How Vritasura appeared. Yeah, appeared from a wrong mantra. Yeah, the brahmana chant a wrong mantra. Who was that? Twasta. Twasta was chanting a wrong mantra. Instead of saying that this creature, this Rakshasa, will be able to kill Indra, so he was chanting just instead of short A, he chants long A in that mantra. Then instead of killing Indra, this Rakshasa who will be born will be killed by Indra. So there are a lot of defects. Mantratas, tantra, while doing the tantra procedure, desa, kala, vastu, you sit in the wrong directions. But anusankirtanam tava, if you chant the holy name of the Lord, then it will be perfected. So in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, when we perform the yagya, we start with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and we end with the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's one thing. Another thing is in order to attract newcomers. This is also one of the preaching method. Yeah, like building big temples. Why? It is not the Yuga Dharma. Do we know properly how to worship the deities? Even some second initiated, I'm teaching in the Yagya course now. They've been initiated, the second initiated devotees for 10 years. Still, they don't know how to perform achamana. This is going on. In order to worship the deities, first you have to know how to perform achamana, how to do asana stapana. Most of the pujaris, sorry to say, most of the pujaris, they don't do asana stapana. They just step on the asana and perform the arati. First, before stepping on the asana, you have to do asana stapana. And this asana should not be dragged by feet. There are so many pujaris dragging the asana using their feet. Should not be done like this. Yeah. And before offering fire, you have to do Agni Samskara. You purify the fire because in every Agni, there is Agni personification known as Kravyada Agni. This Kravyada Agni should be removed from the fire that you want to use to do the puja to the Lord. Otherwise, you are offering contaminated fire. Therefore, in the temple, we see there is this kind of Dipa Saksi. in the altar that they used to light up the fire, light up the incense. So the pujari should perform the Agni Samskara, remove this Kravyada Agni. This Kravyada Agni is meant only to burn the dead body, considered to be contaminated. You're not supposed to light up the fire using matches to perform arati. This is wrong. How many pujaris know how to do this? Hardly. I'm sorry to say. Hardly pujaris knows how to do this. Then, but still we are continuing worshipping the deities. After all, Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He sees only our bhava, our love. Okay, he doesn't know how to do it properly, but he has the right mood. Right? Okay. Then Krishna accepts, hopefully. But if we are talking about standard, purity, unless you get trained properly, here in Mayapur, in the Mayapur Academy, we are giving training to the devotees for 4 months, yeah, in Didi worship, with the expectation that these devotees will know how to do dressing, how to do cooking, Brahmanical culture, little bit astrology, little bit yajna. So it is impossible to become a head pujari just by getting 4 months training. We are planning now to have 2 years training in order to make a head pujari. There are I'm telling you, this is life anyway. There are so many devotees who are graduated from Mayapur Academy. They come to learn yajna in the Bhaktivedanta Academy. There are so many of them, I fail them. They don't know how to make Dhenu Mudra. This is important mudra. How many pujaris purifying the items before doing the arati using mudra? Sometimes they don't purify this. That is the standard, the basic thing that every pujari should know. Yeah. So why we still doing this Didi worship? Yeah. If we don't know how to do it, why we are still doing yajna if the offering is impure? Ultimately, we are doing this for the pleasure of the Lord, right? With the right mood, we are doing it. Yeah, with the right mood, we are doing it. So Krishna sees that mood. Yeah. Krishna sees that mood. Another thing also, it's attract people. Yeah, if you just chant Hare Krishna under some mango or coconut trees, there is no temple, there is no deities. Will people come to you? No, they will not come. They will not come. So they want to see the deities because we are inbuilt, especially here in India, we are inbuilt with this culture of seeing the murti, of seeing the deities, of seeing the ceremony. Yeah. So people have this kind of conditioning in which actually that's good conditioning. They want to see something is going on. If you just chant under some trees, people will not come. Nobody will come to hear Bhagavatam under mango trees. Let's say like that, you know, so they want temple and then you provide the hall for the temple. Yeah. The TOBP is meant for this, which can accommodate 10,000 people in the hall. Now Vrindavan also making another big temple. Yes, Rukmini temple is opening now in Delhi. Like so much going on. Why? In order to spread the Sankirtan movement. That ultimately the purpose. Yeah. It's not and only just in the deity worship and performing this fire yajna. But we want to give them good impression. That's my response. If we are talking about standard, honestly speaking, I mean to say even I also need to learn a lot more about the standard of deity worship, for example. But when I'm teaching this, like I'm seeing all these devotees, you know, who has been taken second initiation for 10, 15 years. They don't even know how to perform achamana. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So Krishna is seeing the mood, and that's a good preaching tool. It is not against Sastra, first of all. It is not at all against Sastra. Yeah, it is not the bridge preaching. You heard something about bridge preaching? Okay, for example, you are doing some festival. Yeah, you are doing some festival, and then you are using rock and roll music concert, and then you add some Hare Krishna Maha Mantra into it. This is called bridge preaching. Yeah, that's fine. I'm saying I have nothing against bridge preaching. That's fine. But this yagya is Vedic. Didi worship is Vedic. It is not bridge preaching. It is our Vaishnava Padhyati, our culture. It is established by our Acharya, by Lord Krishna himself. Vyasadeva given us all this method. Narada Muni, especially Narada Muni and Narada Pancharatra, giving us all this method how to perform Didi worship. So we are not concocting some new idea to preach, but it's already there. And it's nice. Really, people love it. When you worship the deities, that means you are maintaining high standard of cleanliness. Yes, pujari means you have to be very clean. You know, if you eat, then you have to take bath, change your clothes, and enter the deity rooms. Otherwise, no. In order to enter kitchen, also you have to dress clean. Clean means suci. Yeah. So deity worship is not as easy as what we think. You know, not as easy as what we think. There is a whole sign of deity worship. Yeah. Hare Krishna. I hope that satisfies Mataji your
Yes,
query.
Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, 17 to 19. I am the father of this universe, the mother, support, and the grandsire. I'm the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I'm also Rig Sama and the Yajurvedas. Okay. I'm the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode of refuge, and the most dear friend. I'm the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place of the eternal seed. O Arjun, I give heed, and I withhold and send forth the rain. I'm immortality, and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Okay? So Prabhupada explained here in his lecture. So we have to learn from Bhagavad Gita directly spoken by the Supreme Lord and accept it and do accordingly. That is called Krishna consciousness. We think of Krishna, he is everything, or God is everything. So let us become submissive and pursue this, the process of devotional service. That is the way of happiness. That is the way of perfection. So ultimately, Krishna is explaining here that he is everything. There is nothing beyond Krishna. Everything is in Krishna. Okay, he is the father, he is the mother, he is the one who gives heat, he is the one who sends rain. He is that also. Yeah, everything is Krishna. Yeah, but our thinking with the Mayavadi's thinking is different. Yeah, the Mayavadi is thinking that everything is God, including himself. But we are thinking that everything is Krishna in the sense of that is his energy. Yeah. And we are the servant of the Lord. This verse is just to teach us how we can see Krishna in everything. Yeah. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam samayi pashyati. Tasyaham na pranasyami sachami na pranashyati. If we can see everything in Krishna, and Krishna is in everywhere, in everything, including inside the atom, then our vision is perfect. Yeah. So, yes, Gopalaka Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear
Hare
me?
Krishna. Yes.
Thanks, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, So we see in many devotees' house, they invite Gaur Nitai, they invite Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai
Mm.
in their homes.
Yes.
They do Prana Pratishtha and they worship the Lord. So seeing this, we also try to endeavor. So
Mm.
what is the guidance and what is the qualifications we need to have, Prabhuji, to do such deity worship? And uh, is it only initiation or second initiation or Brahminical initiation? So what's that we have to, what is the
Yes.
standard for that, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Mm. Hare Krishna. Okay, first of all, worshiping the deities at home and in the temple, it's already like, of course, you have to have certain standard, right? But worshiping Krishna in the temple is like Krishna is the king. But worshiping Krishna at home, Krishna is our family member. So king has certain standard. If you minimize the standard, he's not happy and he will punish you. But Krishna at home is like your family members. Whatever you have, that you offer to Krishna. That's the example, okay? Like king's lunch, like Raja Bhoga, there is certain standard. But at home, if you have only rice, dal, and one sabji, then you can offer that. Yeah, you treat Krishna like family members. But of course, there is some boundary also, right? Because you know that he's God. So regarding the qualification, okay, what I know and what I have heard from some senior devotees, some sannyasis. So once I heard from His Holiness Gautam Goswami, right? He mentioned that if you worship Jagannath deities, Jagannath Baladev deities, you have to be second initiated, and you have to have fixed standard for your worship. At least in the morning, you offer boga and perform arati, full arati. Yeah. And then in the evening also, you perform arati like this. And you offer some boga also in the afternoon, because Lord Jagannath is the one who always eager to eat. Yeah. It is described that Lord Jagannath's hand never get dry. How many times offering we have in Jagannath Puri? 56 times in a day. So he eats, he washes his hands. Before his hand dry, already another boga comes. Yeah. And then he has to eat again. So if you worship Jagannath, you have to be second initiated. Yeah, there is strict standard for worshiping Jagannath. If you worship Gaur Nitai, it's nice if you are second initiated, but Harinam Diksha is enough, yeah, to worship Gaur Nitai. And you can please Gaur Nitai by performing kirtan. Yeah, you please Jagannath by cooking a lot of food stuff. You worship Gaur Nitai by performing some kirtan. You do kirtan in the front of the deities. Okay, you do arati, do some simple offerings. But the minimum qualification is first initiation, Harinam Diksha. And then what about if you are not initiated? Because I have seen also, there are so many devotees not initiated, they are worshipping Gaur Nitai. Yeah, they do the Prana Pratishtha also, the installation of the deities. Actually, worshipping the deities, you have to be second initiated. Yeah. So you better worship the picture if you're still not initiated. Yeah. So that's the standard. But again, Krishna will see only your mood, your love to him. Even if you are not initiated, you have the right mood to please the Lord. Then, like in some family tradition, let's say, people already worshipping Radha and Krishna Murti from generation after generation. And then they come in contact to ISKCON, they're not yet initiated. Then they have to continue their worship to Radha and Krishna. But Radha and Krishna worship is the highest standard of worship, is Radha and Krishna form. should be very strict, but in your family tradition, you're already worshiping Radha and Krishna. Should you stop? No, you should continue. Yeah. So Krishna is seeing your mood. But if you want to come to the correct standard, then you can wait for a little moment before you are getting at least Harinam Diksha to worship the deity form of Lord, the Murti, the Archa Vigraha. Yeah. Or at least get Upanayanam. Yeah. Because actually while performing offering, should chant some certain Gayatri mantra. Yeah. For those who get Upanayanam, they chant the Brahma Gayatri. Those who get the second initiation, then you can chant the Gopal mantra. Yeah. So there are some certain standard while worshipping the deities. But after all, you better consult with your authority. Yeah, because some authority would, like little lenient. After all, Krishna is seeing your mood. Yeah. There's one incident of Srila Prabhupada in the early 70s. Yes. Srila Prabhupada, he came to Australia. Yeah. He came to not in Melbourne. Sydney. Yes. He came to Sydney. Yeah, he came to Sydney. Barely there are devotees being initiated there. There are only few devotees. Okay. And then it was announced. Yeah. It was announced that, okay, tomorrow Swamiji is coming. Those who want to take initiation, please come and fill up the form. Some of the newcomers, they got shocked that when Srila Prabhupada asked them to follow the four regulative principles, they thought that this Hare Krishna just to chant Hare Krishna, dance and eat prasada. And then when Prabhupada told them, this is the four regulative principles that you have to follow, they got shocked. Oh, I cannot smoke again. Yeah. And then Srila Prabhupada brought the Radha and Krishna deities. Yeah. And then Prabhupada installed the deities. Then Prabhupada said, my dear Lord, please forgive me. I'm handing you over to these Malaychas and Yavanas. And Prabhupada left. Yeah, of course, slowly they learn the deity worship. Yeah. That's like in some urgent case. But if you've been devotees for quite few years, then you have to put endeavor to learn the standard of deity worship. Yeah. And there is no urgency to worship the deities at home. Yeah. If you are second initiated, you must worship the deities, or you must worship at least Salagram Shila. Yeah, Salagram Shila is much more simpler than worshipping the deities. You just bathe with tulsi and water. Yeah, that's the minimum abhishek for the Salagram Shila. Yeah, you perform the 16 upacharas, it takes only 2 minutes. Yes. So it's just a matter of sign. If you know how to do it, it will be easy. Yeah. So that's the standard in general.
Thank you.
Anuradha Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in the same context, what
Mm.
about standard for cooking prasadam and offering it to the Lord? Okay, if you're somebody, maybe we don't have second initiation devotee, but
Mm.
how do we, have prasadam made and offered to the Lord? What
Yes.
standard should we maintain there?
Yeah. Are you talking at home or in the temple?
At home, Prabhuji.
At home, anybody can cook.
Now, see, if we have our periods, it's during the time of the month.
Yes.
Is it still
And
okay to?
I consulted this question. Yeah. To
Yeah.
some sannyasis, So if your husband can cook, then you should not enter the kitchen during this period. Yeah.
Okay.
But there is such strict injunction on the third day of your period, even if you're still bleeding, you can take full bath and you can enter the kitchen on the third day, because different women, they have different length of their periods.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. But on the third day, you can take full bath. If I find that reference, I will share to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
So that's one thing. And then if your husband can cook, better he cook. But if nobody else can cook, then you just take full bath, even on the first day. Take full bath, perform achamana, and you cook. Otherwise, Krishna will fast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why we have to live in a community. In a village, people will live in a community where you can just ask your neighbor to cook. Yeah, in my village, even when up to I was 15-year-old, yeah, if we don't have anything at home, we just ask our neighbor for something. Or if you're sick, they come forward for help. Yeah, when my mother gave birth to my younger brother, my father was so relaxed because all these Matajis, every day, 2-3 Matajis would come to our house to help. That's the life in the village, yeah, social. So you see, you adjust the circumstances. Yeah, if you have your husband who's a great cook, he can cook. Yeah. So otherwise, if there is no option, then you should cook for Krishna. Yeah, just bathe, clean. Yeah, woman is not recommended. I mean, it's not recommended for women to take full bath every day. Yeah, there is also material sign about this. If woman's hair is constantly wet, then it's very easy for her to get sick. So generally, women take baths just from the face, down like this, without making wet the hair. But once a week, you must, wash your hands. That's the thing. So that's the thing. The third day of your period, even if you're still bleeding, then you can take full baths. There is a strict injunction about that. So you observe the circumstances and you adjust accordingly. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, Srinivasan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I was just curious to know, in ISKCON, the practice about the first Harinam initiation, and then the second initiation, which is the
Yes.
Brahmanical initiation. Was this since the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, or it was something new, Prabhuji?
It was something new. Yeah. In the Vedic time, initiation means
Only
Upanayana, Brahmana initiation. Yeah. So yes, initiation means Brahmana initiation in the Vedic time. But this practice is started by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Yeah, first initiation, and then second initiation. And during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there is no Mataji getting second initiation. Sorry. Yeah, but Srila Prabhupada gave second initiation to the Matajis also. Yes. So there are different reasons of this in which I don't want to discuss, otherwise I will be in trouble. Yeah. But the Vedic system is initiation means Upanayana. Yeah. So like this. Sudamayi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Like while traveling, what to do, Prabhu, regarding the deities care, deity care?
Yes. Different devotees got different life hack while traveling. Yeah. So for example, I always bring my sila whenever I travel, wherever I travel. Yeah. And if possible, to perform some simple, for example, I am in the long trip of train. Yeah. Then if the circumstances make you possible to perform the puja while traveling, then do it. Otherwise you put the deities into rest. Yeah. put them into sleep. And when you reach your destination, you wake them up, you perform the puja. So that is fine. Yeah, because it's your personal duties. Yeah.
Shouldn't we leave in the house and go, Prabhu?
If you live in the house, it's a difficult question. Yeah. You can ask some of your neighbor, probably friends, to worship the deities in your house. Otherwise, if you live in the house, then you put the deities to sleep. Yeah, you put the deities to sleep, and then mentally, yeah, you do the Manasa Puja every day. Yeah. Actually, everybody every morning should perform Manasa Puja. Yeah, Manasa Puja to Guru, to Gauranga, Radha, and Krishna. Those who are interested, you can contact me. I'll give you all the procedure of Manasa Puja. It takes only 5 minutes. Yeah, but there are certain mantras that you have to chant. Yeah, things like this. So, for example, you have big deities at home. What to do? You are going somewhere for a yatra or whatever it is. Then you can close your altar, put the deities to sleep, and every morning you perform Manasa Puja. Yeah, because Manasa Puja is actually as good as directly serving the Lord. Yeah, remember this incident of Brahmana who's just meditating on the Lord, imagining that he's cooking sweet rice, and finally his finger got burned. So that's the proof actually Manasa Puja is as good as worshiping the Lord directly. Yeah, so it's matter of being practical. If you have small deities like this, then you take. If you have like really big deities, then what to do? Stay home. Yeah, if there is no sister, brother, or children who can worship them, then just put them to rest, and then you go on with your travelings and perform Manasa Puja. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's last? Archit Agrawal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, so many times we are in a situation where we are organizing home sankirtan at different devotees' house, and we are short of volunteers for bhoga.
Right.
So there are then Matajis are there who are in their periods. So can they cook in these cases for the Lordship?
If really there is no one to cook, then what to do? Yeah. It's still okay rather than you buy something outside cooked by the non-devotees. Yeah, that's the only response I have. Just like, yeah.
Thank you,
If,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
like you don't have really, no one will cook. Yeah. So it's still okay rather than you buy some rasgulla or some fried rice in some restaurant cooked by non-devotees, mixed, with some onion and garlic. It's still okay. Yeah, what to do? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Devotees means Prabhupada. One time, Srila Prabhupada was in Mumbai, and then Srutakirti Prabhu was his assistant. Yeah. So every devotees, they are so eager to have morning walk with Srila Prabhupada. And in order to go to some spot, so Srila Prabhupada has his car. And everybody wants to come inside the car along with Srila Prabhupada. So now, in the building where Srila Prabhupada was living, so there was lift, right? So Prabhupada entered the lift, and then many devotees just entered the lift. And Srutakirti Prabhu, who is the personal assistant of Srila Prabhupada, didn't get space. So he just ran down through the stair. And when Prabhupada reached downstairs, Srutakirti Prabhu already in the front waiting. Then Srila Prabhupada said that, yes, Srutakirti means one who is very expert in everything. So devotees means should be expert in everything. Yeah. So it's still okay. The Mataji who is in the period, although it's not really okay, if you don't have any other option, then that's the only option. Then ask her to cook rather than you buy outside. That's my personal comment on that. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Okay, our time is up. It's a nice discussion. There are a lot more to be said on this kind of Padhyati, Vriddhi, Okay. Thank you so much. Hoping to see you on Sunday morning, 5:30. Hare Krishna. Shila Prabhupada.